We'll just sit up, saved by grace.
Hey everybody, so I am back to briefly discuss season 6, episode 1 of Bounce TV Saints and Sinners. If you all are not aware, this is the final season for this particular series. And hey, they gave us a really good run. In my opinion, season 5 was fire. If you don't remember season 5's final episode, I'll leave a link up above, probably in the top right corner, where you can go ahead and watch my discussion on it as a brief recap leading you into season 6. However, season 6 episode 1 did have a recap at the very beginning of season 5, so you can check out my discussion or you can just rely on that recap. With all of that being said, I'm getting ready to discuss this first episode of its final season. And just a reminder, spoiler alert, when I do these discussions, I am definitely giving out spoilers. So without further ado, let's get into it. So season 1 opens up with the character Levi Sterling, who is co-owner of WQCL. And Levi Sterling is basically pleading to the public or addressing the public in regards to the character Angela and her disappearance. So remember, if all of you don't remember, again, you may want to check out my discussion, but Angela was actually kidnapped in season 5's finale. So that is very interesting, and we see that Levi is allegedly pleading to the public. I mean, just breaking out the crocodile tears and everything, but we all know fully well Levi could care less about Angela's disappearance. Keep in mind, we did not see a lot of Levi in this particular episode, but what we did see of him, we know that he is up to something. He is scheming as he usually does in Levi's fashion, and apparently he is working with Lady Ella in regards to what she is working on, which we should have known after the way season 5 ended. Now, speaking of season 5, we also know that there's this big thing going on where women are being abducted in Cyprus. Remember, Cyprus is the city or town that this particular series is taking place in, and women are currently being abducted there. Now, according to the police of Cyprus, in this particular episode, the amount of women that were being abducted has decreased since Ella's father, whose name is escaping me right now, is no longer around. However, we know that Christy was a part of that whole organ harvesting ring, and now she is currently being used by her grandmother Leona in order to steal medication from the hospital. But I'm not certain what is going on. I personally, and let me know what you all think in the comment section below. I cannot make out whether or not Leona is the one that is responsible for the organ harvesting, or is there something else that Leona is doing. Maybe I just don't remember, but apparently she has Christy stealing medication from the hospital. So, and looks like Christy is doing some sort of experiments. So I'm not certain what is happening and what exactly is Leona's role in what is happening in Cyprus. But apparently someone is still abducting women in Cyprus. And speaking of Ella, she actually stepped down in season 5 as mayor of Cyprus because she genuinely thought she was going to become the CEO of Upsurge. Heck, everybody thought they were going to become CEO of Upsurge except for the person who actually became CEO of Upsurge. But nonetheless, we learned in this episode too that Ella just so happens to now be special prosecutor of Cyprus, which I think is very convenient. How does this woman continue to have these big name positions after all the negative media surrounding her and the deaths surrounding her and the bodies that she has caught? I'm just so confused, but hey, it's television, so I'm not going to overthink it, people. Even though Ella always manages to keep a career position going, none of her career positions have ever been easy, and this position as special prosecutor is no exception because Ella is attempting to bring down the individuals or figure out who the individuals are that are abducting women in Cyprus, and she is calling on those that she know. For example, we see her go to Rex in this episode, who pretty much gets her to leave him because he has something going on, but he does say that he's going to assist her, and we'll see where how that goes. Then we see Ella is also getting information from Levi as well because they're working together as well, and I'm sure we'll continue to see more of that unfold. But then there's this man by the name of Richards, who we know set up Rex as well as Rex's son, Kendrick, in season 5, and he has been apprehended by the police. He is currently in jail. Ella approaches him in regards to testifying in regards to all that has happened and how he played a role in all of this. Richards was also a police officer, in case you don't remember. Again, all of that transpired in season 5, but he is currently in lockup. However, we do see at the very end, someone killed Richards. So someone knew that Richards was getting ready to testify on behalf of Ella, and unfortunately he was killed. So again, Ella may get all of these fancy career positions, but they never come with an easy job description for her. But let's not stray away too far from the fact that we have Angela, who is missing. And for those of you who may not remember, in season 5, Angela came out and announced on television that she is indeed pregnant by Jabari. Now, Jabari is co-owner alongside Levi Sterling of WQCL. I hope I said that correctly. But he is in a relationship. Actually, he's married to Paige, who he thought was dead. And that's a whole nother story, which is why you need to watch my discussion on season 5, Saints and Sinners. However, Jabari knew that Paige was upset with the fact that Angela was pregnant by him, and Paige apparently at the end of season 5 called on someone by the name of Uncle Ray Ray. And so Jabari, throughout this particular episode, continuously questioned Paige in regards to whether or not she had something to do with Angela's disappearance. He even asked her if she killed Angela. Now, who is Uncle Ray Ray, you may wonder? Good question, because I was wondering the same thing. Is it me, or does he look awfully like that guy that be in the Country Wayne skits? No? Maybe? Yes? Anyway, Uncle Ray Ray is apparently this big timer in the city of Athens, which apparently isn't too far from Cyprus, where most of Saints and Sinners has taken place. So apparently we also learned in this episode that Uncle Ray Ray wants to take over Cyprus territory. So he has been literally bombarding Rex's shipment, because mind you, Rex is currently running the city of Cyprus. Now, I don't know what these people are running, but we know they got shipments and we know they're doing something illegal. But anyway, nonetheless, Ray Ray wants to take over Cyprus, which actually helps enforce 56% of you who voted that Uncle Ray Ray would be the greatest threat of this season finale of Saints and Sinners on the poll that I posted in my community tab. Check it out. And of course, Rex is not going to roll over and just allow Ray Ray to come to Cyprus and take over. In fact, he approaches Ray Ray on his territory and lets him know who's in charge and that Ray Ray better not touch his darn shipments. But of course, Ray Ray is not taking Rex seriously. Meanwhile, Ray Ray is also working with Paige, and Jabari in this particular episode is in prison due to the fact that some seasons prior, he accidentally killed his biological mother, which of course he would not have wanted to do. It was an accident, but nonetheless, you do the crime, you have to do the time. In the meanwhile, Paige somehow, some way hooked up with Uncle Ray Ray to get Jabari out of prison, which Jabari put 2 and 2 together when he saw Uncle Ray Ray come to the prison to visit him and let him know that he had been freed, which towards the end, we do see that Jabari is upset with Paige, but she's excited to see him out of prison, and he immediately says to her, "You killed Angela." So it seems as though Uncle Ray Ray is quickly making enemies in Cyprus. However, he better watch out, because also in this episode, Rex takes his right-hand man with the assistance of Chelsea, who many of us know that Chelsea is Miles's girlfriend, and apparently she is in debt to Rex, and Rex is using her to help him do his dirty work. So he takes Ray Ray's right-hand man and gets information from him at gunpoint, and eventually he annihilates Ray Ray's right-hand man. Chelsea is probably in debt with Rex for many reasons, one being that her club isn't doing too well, or that she took out some sort of mortgage or something on her club to help Miles with his medical bills. However, we also learned in this episode that Tamara, Miles's mother to his son or child, we never see the child, so I forgot if it's a boy or a girl, but anyway, Tamara, who is now CEO of Upsurge and is rolling in the big bucks, is apparently taking care of Miles's medical bills, which Chelsea is highly displeased about because of the fact that Chelsea is Miles's girlfriend and she does not like Tamara still being in Miles' life. Now, where is Miles in the midst of all of this, you may ask? Well, if you've seen last night's episode, then you would know that Miles is actually still in that coma that he got. I don't know if it was last season or the 4th season, but he's been in that coma, and we will see him eventually because it's the last season, so they got to bring him back. And it doesn't look like Tamara plans on sticking around because she actually fires Rex when she discovers that Rex's shipment that had been lost actually contains Upsurge's inventory. So her and other members of the board of Upsurge apparently voted Rex out of Upsurge. But the thought that Rex could be stealing the inventory is actually absurd because he sits on the board. So what does he have to gain by stealing inventory of the company that he sits on the board of? Anyway, Tamara was convinced that Rex did it and he's out the door. Then on top of it, Tamara announces that she wants to uproot Upsurge, her child, herself, and Miles to Florida, which Chelsea was highly displeased because Chelsea is Miles's girlfriend, but I don't think she has any legal rights to stop this from happening. But now that I think about it, I'm not even sure how Tamara has legal rights to move Miles. And now that I think about it, how many more episodes do we have to sit up here and watch these two ladies continue to fight over this one man? Like, really? Join a dating app already. Jeez. Last but not least, in this episode, we see that Kendrick is mourning the loss of his fiancee, Stacia, because, mind you, Stacia has unfortunately passed on after being murdered in a car bomb. And his sister, Christy, attempts to console him and tells him, like, hey, why don't you honor Stacia's life? Why don't you honor her memory? And Kendrick says, like, okay, yeah, that's a good idea. And he remembers the fact that Stacia, before she died, was looking for her biological parents. So Kendrick, to get answers as to who could be Stacia's biological parents, Kendrick visits his grandmother Leona at her home, where we can see Leona is pruning plants. And by the way, she looks very creepy pruning plants. But anyway, Kendrick is highly brave to approach Leona, considering even though he's her grandson, in numerous times she has tried to destroy him. However, it seems as though pruning plants keeps her in a very calm and happy mood because she did give Kendrick some answers as to where he could begin to look, and those answers led him to, lo and behold, Athens, where it seems like a lot of Saints and Sinners will be going down this particular season. So Kendrick ends up going to a strip club after being told to do so, where he sees a woman on the pole, and the woman looks like Stacia. So I'm assuming this must be Stacia's twin sister, but time will tell. Future episodes will tell. So that is it for my discussion on Saints and Sinners Season 6, Episode 1. Let me know what you all think in the comment section. If I've missed anything and you want to talk about it, feel free to open up the comment section and begin discussing it. But that is pretty much it until the next episode from me. So with all of that being said, I hope you all enjoyed this episode, and I'll see y'all for future episodes. Talk to y'all soon. Peace.